Hey, welcome back, everybody. My name is Mark.
I'm RJ, and we're here to talk about the trials and tribulations of the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's right. So, busy week this week to recap real quick. We're going to start first with I think Tampa and Toronto on Monday night. How'd they fare there?
Well, it was the Prime's game of the week, and the Leafs coming off a loss an overtime loss to Montreal. Tampa was coming into town with 3 losses in a row, and by the time it was finished, it was 4 losses in a row for Tampa. Set them up to be angry for the next game against you that you'll talk about in a sec. But Hildeby was the big story again, where he's the third string goalie, and he wasn't even trusted to be that. I remember at the beginning of the year, the Leafs went out and got Pickering to come in and play, and they moved him out again, and Hildeby's here. Wall and Stolarz are still a wall, pardon the pun on that one. But Hildeby's playing just fantastic. He's 930, 970 save percentage going into the other day against Montreal, and he had a well-deserved shutout against Tampa. And the Leafs played pretty good. They got a lot of jump in their step now. The thing I was talking about before, where they were seemed to be playing slow. They're playing faster, and certain guys have been just not contributing at all. Or Dakota Joshua, for one, has really improved his play. And so it was a very interesting game for the Leafs, and they won 2-0. So, and Hildeby he's the best player on with the team right now.
I believe that was his first shutout as well, wasn't it?
That's his first shutout. Yeah. Of course, it was his first shutout.
Yeah.
And that's just amazing that. The way he's just come into his own here. And, I don't know. They got to stay with the hot hand. We'll talk more about that when I recap the next game, about what they're going to do with their goalies.
Yeah.
Anyway, absolutely. So we put Tampa, as I said, in a terrible mood to go into Montreal. What happened? I can only imagine. Tampa must have been feasting on you guys, because they were.
It was a sheer nightmare what happened in Montreal. I mean, it was just my God. They were coming off a loss in Toronto, and Dobeš got the start. So I was hopeful. I was like, wow, Dobeš has got the start. He's the hot hand and the thing. So yeah, we should be faring pretty good. Monty was sick before the game. Vasilevsky was announced IR the night before. I think
we played Johansson.
Toronto. Yeah,
we played Johansson.
Before they played Toronto, he was declared IR. So I was like, okay, well, the number one goalie's out. So at least we got a good chance with. So anyways, Johansson's had a 901 save percentage, so he's no slouch. And it just like. To me, the game started and it was good pressure on both sides. They were both playing really, really strong. But then, an early goal from a complete defensive brain fart out of what was his name? Struble. Oh my God! I mean, he's like the guy. It's a 1-on-1, and Braden Point just skated a circle around him like he was standing still, like it was a pylon Struble. Anyways, it was just a horrible goal. And then the second goal, and that was and this was the killer. There was the second goal was deflated the building and deflated the players, which was when Holmberg came out of the penalty box and got a failed pass to Dobson, grabs the thing, breakaway, scores second goal. Montreal's deflated, and we just never recovered from that. It was just like we were out muscle the rest of the game, and it was Monty started the second period because I think it was 3 goals in one period. They just said, okay, let's put him out.
They left him in for 7. Tonight they take him out after 3.
They took him out after 3, yeah. So they put Monty in there. Monty didn't fare much better because they ended up letting 3 more in, and then we ended up losing 6-1. We got the 1 goal, like a consolation goal. It was just a nightmare.
With the smile on my face.
My thoughts on the game was that Montreal does way too many passes, because Montreal did have its chances to score. I mean, Johansson played a hell of a game, and he did some amazing stops. But I always find Montreal's got that one too many passes when they're trying to make a shot on net, and it usually means that they usually mess it up. They usually they never get that shot off because the one too many passes gets intercepted. It's just a nightmare what they're trying to do. I think they're always trying to look for that highlight reel goal instead of just getting pucks to the net. They weren't winning their battles, and we didn't get any breaks. And at that point, I was just screaming for Fowler to get called up. And sure enough, within an hour of the game being done, they announced that Jacob Fowler was being called up
finally
from the Laval Rockets. So Thank God he was called up. So, but anyways, and then Montreal was getting prepared for Penguins on Thursday. But before that, the Leafs played on Wednesday.
No, the Leafs
Leafs
played
played
last
last night.
night.
That's right. And what am I thinking? What do I think? I'm right out of her.
Well,
I'm thinking Wednesday there was something
you
going
pulled
on.
a
but there
Struble.
isn't.
You just brain farted.
Yeah, just another brain fart. No, so we ended up going into Pittsburgh.
See how easy it is to do? You're hard on that Struble guy.
Yeah, exactly. We went going into Pittsburgh, and well, no, I got the wrong screen coming up here.
Well, I played. The Leafs. We'll do the San Jose game. Give you a chance to settle down.
Yeah.
So
okay. Listen. So
the
last
Leafs.
night,
And I said earlier in the week when we did our preview that San Jose would give us some trouble, but the Leafs were handling them. That was a good game. The shots back and forth were pretty fairly even. The Leafs outshot them in the second period and they had the lead at 1-0 and anyway, the game 2-1, and Hildeby played great again. Another solid effort by him. They brought up Akimov. I don't know if that's a hard name to pronounce. We'll just call him Double A, the Russian kid, and he's the backup right now. But they got to go with a hot hand with Hildeby. I think he'll, they're going to have to play the kid at some point, although Wald has been skating in practice. Anyway, back to the game. It was an interesting game because it was Ryan Reeves' return to the building, and oddly enough, the guy we got for him, Henry Thune, ended up playing his first game for the Leafs this year. So that was kind of an interesting coincidence. And Reeves, he really wanted to show him up. He had, I found it interesting, he had 9 hits in that game, and actually scored a goal but it turned out it was on an offside play. The other thing that was interesting in that game, Hildeby stopped a penalty shot. So everything was okay, but San Jose ended up forcing overtime 2-2, and then Matthews, Domi, and Riley were on the ice, and they got caught in a 2-on-1, and San Jose scored to make it 3-2 and win the game. But so the Leafs still got a point. That's 6 games in a row with a pointer. And the interesting other thing about this 6-game run is before when they were struggling, Nylander and Tavares were by far and away producing and doing really well for us. And in this whole 6-game run, the two of them have 2 points collectively each, 4 points. So, and Nylander, that's another big story. Nylander's been bumped to the third line. He played that entire game with Joshua and Roy. And actually, the line did pretty good.
Yeah.
And
they scored.
They scored.
They scored one. Matthews got one on power play goal.
Matthews got his second power play goal of the year too. So that's another.
Isn't that 2 games in a row now? He scores. I think it's.
Well, he scored an empty netter, and he scored the second goal, and he scored the empty netter.
Yeah, well, they still count, right?
Yeah, they count. They count.
That's 2 in a row for him. I don't know if he's had that many 2 in a rows.
But no, he probably hasn't. So Nylander getting bumped down to the third line. I mean, Berube's really after him, apparently. There's a lot of talk about it in practice, yelling at him and yelling him on the bench. And that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out going forward. But, when your leading scorer gets bumped down to the third line. But because the truth of it is, we've all seen it for the last 8 years. Nylander doesn't come out to play every game or take every shift. I mean, he's often a ghost out there, and Berube's not putting up with it. I mean, he can score, if Nylander scores or sets up a goal and scores a goal, but he might be on the ice for 2 as well. He's just not very, very interested in defense, and, you can't trust him to check a coat, let alone. Yeah. So that's the problem, and Berube's decided to make it a mission from now on that he's just not going to put up with it. And it's about time somebody got shifted, lost their spot, and maybe even sits at the end of the bench. You've got to make a point.
What's your thoughts on the Leafs, losing a 2-goal lead there again? It's a synonym to the Leafs.
Well, that's the problem. They let down. And I said that San Jose was going to give them you can't let up on this San Jose team. They're up and coming. Celebrini is a great hockey player, and you can't let up on them, and they did, and San Jose kept on coming. So, but they got a point, and they've moved out of the basement. They were down at the bottom with Florida. Now they're in like 12th, just behind your guys, and it's just such a logjam, which we'll do another topic one day about why it's a logjam.
Yeah, only 2 points separate the Montreal and Toronto right now with 33 and 35 points respectively. But to be fair, like Carolina's only at 40 points, so both teams aren't far away from the top spot.
This is a weird year. Another year's you're still down in 12th place after in going into Christmas. you're in a bit of trouble. But
Yeah.
this year they're just so. I mean, it's, we'll talk about it.
Everything's so
another time.
condensed,
Well,
yeah.
it's all so condensed. The schedule's condensed. There's no teams aren't getting practices. There's a little bit of sloppy play constantly, and the Leafs. They're in there. So anyway, that was how do you make out on Thursday night
Right.
with your
So
team?
I think that they must have had such an ass kicking so much on Tuesday night that Martin St. Louis must have just tore a strip off of them at practice, and they came back with a vengeance, and they were playing really good, in my opinion. It's a big win, 4-2. But the big story of the night was Fowler being called up and just standing on his head, making 33 saves on 35 shots. It ends up being a 942 points, 942% save percentage that night. It's just amazing. His performance was great. They didn't get their second period blues, which is the thing that's usually Montreal gets, right? Like they'll come in real hot in the first and score a goal or two, and then they, second period they end up get scored on a couple of times, but they didn't get this in the second period. They actually increased their lead in the second. So it's. Is it a tide that's changing? I mean, is it the Fowler effect? We're going to call it the Fowler effect of them.
Goaltending's everything. You show me a great coach, I'll show you a goaltender with a 960 save percentage. Hildeby's turned the Leafs around. So what do you think? Is Fowler? We've been hearing about this kid for 2 or 3 years now. He's finally here. Is he the next one?
I don't know. He's been tearing it up in Laval. Montreal's a tough market. If we put too much pressure on him, he might cave. A lot of good things happened that night. So Fowler being probably the major difference on where they. But Kapanen got another one, a goal again. So Kapanen's looking at 10 goals right now in his rookie year. So he's on pace for a pretty good season. Caulfield got his 17th. Like it's just, and Demidov, he's at 6 right now. But this is for rookies. Kapanen can't be ignored on possibly one of the good rookie year. So to me, if you got a good goaltender behind you, you got confidence. So if you make a mistake, you make a mistake, you got to say, okay, I feel good that we have a good goalie in hand, and he's probably gonna make up for it, and he's gonna help me out, kind of thing. If you don't have confidence in your goalie. Yeah, man, it's
that's what was going on with the Leafs earlier this year.
Yeah.
They just didn't have, and then the defense starts compensating, and it turns into a real mess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say something about this. This is the thing about Leaf fans we get jealous about. Montreal Canadiens, they just have a way. The never mind the Richards and the Bellevaux and the Lafleurs and whatever you got. They've got the goaltending is just something that they just have an amazing thing about. The Vezina Trophy is named after a Montreal goaltender, George Vezina.
Yeah.
And I found a stat this morning that's just amazing about, and I'll get to that in a sec, but you guys just always seem to get a goalie, and it's just amazing. And the greatest thing that happened about goalies in Toronto in the last 25 years is there was a game where our Zamboni driver had to come in the third period and beat us.
And beat you, yeah.
So that's that's the difference between the Leafs and Montreal. And I saw a stat today. You're going to love this one. Jacob Fowler comes up today, and he has his first game against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And do you want to know something? Guess who Ken Dryden had his first start with?
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I saw that.
And guess who
Pittsburgh?
Guess who Patrick Roy had his first? And guess who Carey Price had? The 3 great goaltenders all had their first start against Pittsburgh Penguins, and now this kid comes up, and it looks like. Fingers crossed for you. It could be a new era.
I don't know. Accidentally,
of yet another great goaltender.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe they knew that stat and say, "Hey, let's start this kid."
I heard that Jacques Plante, his first exhibition game was against the Pittsburgh Hornets in the American Hockey League. I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know who Jacques Plante's first exhibition game was. But I wouldn't be surprised if I found out it was against the Pittsburgh Hornets.
Yeah, I got it. I know. I got to agree with you. Montreal has had a history of great goalies. Is it? I don't know. Is it a mentality, or is it a born and bred thing?
That's the thing about sports.
They're always prioritizing their goaltenders.
I don't know. It's just sports. Maybe when the guys get there and they look up in the rafters and they see those sweaters and they just go, I gotta play up to that guy's standard. Yeah. It could be. I don't know what it is. There's always a thing about sports, and that's one of the reasons why we watch it, because it has. godlike
Yeah.
or mythological things
Right.
like that
But I
happen.
mean, if you look at the draft, right, it's always about the top 5 skaters. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, when was the last time anybody got excited out of a draft year other than the price year? Like what for goalies? I mean, I don't remember anybody getting excited about a draft year for goalies.
They've Ricky DiPietro was first overall one year for the Islanders, and
How
there was
long?
I mean, that was about 20 years ago.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's been other goalies. They're not really goaltenders because I think it's really hard to pick a goaltender out,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot of courage to pick a goaltender in the first round. Tampa Bay got Vasilevsky in the first round.
Yeah.
Jersey got Brodeur in the first round. I mean,
Right.
these things do happen, but.
Yeah.
Anyway, they got Fowler, and I'm excited for you. He might if he's got anywhere near the pedigree of the 3 guys we just mentioned that also started against Pittsburgh.
Right.
You've got a bright future ahead of you.
Yeah, keeping on Fowler, Montreal is poised to play the Rangers tomorrow, Saturday, because we're recording this on Friday. On Saturday, we're playing Rangers. Are they starting Fowler?
I think they would. Although then they got Edmonton again at home on Sunday. I don't know. Maybe they keep him for the Sunday game.
Yeah. Is it at home on Sunday?
Yeah,
it is,
Edmonton.
yeah.
Because
Edmonton's at home, yeah.
Yeah, because we're playing the
Yeah.
Oilers.
So who do you say? Do you say Fowler for the Oilers and
I
and
think
Connor McDavid?
Yeah, I think they go with Dobich for on Saturday against
And not Sammy? Not Sammy?
Well, one of them, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not running them. I'm doing the Toronto broadcast. Let me worry about Double A.
All right.
When are they going to play? Well, apparently Wall's skating again, so I'm wondering if maybe Double A will just stay here as the backup and keep the towel around the neck. I think
Right.
Hildeby will start again on Saturday.
Right.
But they got to watch. You can't just keep playing the guy over and over and over. Next thing you know, then he tweaks something, and then where are we at?
So what should the Leafs think about they're going to playing against the Oilers on tomorrow, Saturday? What's their game plan, you think?
Well, try to get pucks on. I sound like those intermission guys. Pucks deep. No, Edmonton put pressure on that defense. That's a team that doesn't. Apparently, they made a trade today for Tristan Jerry.
Yeah, I was just about to go into that.
Tristan Jerry for Skinner. So maybe you'll see Tristan Jerry. I don't know what the situation will be there. But Edmonton's a loose team. So I hopefully the Leafs, Berube can keep them in their lanes and take advantage of the fact that Edmonton gets a little loose and maybe the Leafs can pot a few. I don't know if I bet the over on that game or not, but I think it could be a shootout. But
Just a couple things before we go. You just mentioned it a bit. Big trade right now in the NHL. Skinner traded out of Edmonton to Pittsburgh with Kulak against Jari Pule and the draft pick. That's a pretty big trade announced last night. I guess it was right after the game where Jari lost to Montreal. So
I don't know how that helps either club because is Jerry going to be a better goaltender than Skinner? I don't know.
Skinner's up and down a bit. Like he's
streaker,
good, but he's a streaker. Yeah.
I don't know. I find that to be a weird. And Pittsburgh's, still in a playoff spot. So I find it a bit. I don't know what's going on there. I haven't really followed that to say too much
Pittsburgh's
about.
at right now. Pittsburgh is in 8th place. Yeah, they're
still in the playoffs.
35 points. So they got the same amount of points as Montreal. It's
It's a logjam. I think we're going to do a topic one day about why everything's a logjam.
right. And one last thing, there's rumors about Yarncrook leaving for Europe. What do you think? Should he leave?
I don't know. You catch me off guard on that question.
Yeah, I like to throw you a little zinger there.
Why would he go to Europe?
Apparently, I don't know. This is the talk on the internet. It's like apparently he's going to leave Toronto and go play in Europe.
I think I don't think so. I think he should stay here. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, well, anyways, some people on the internet are debunking that, saying it's not true. But
the thing about Yarncroft is he's not cruising up to his salary. So if he wants to go to Europe, I'll drive him to the airport. There's my answer. I'll drive him to the airport.
All right. On that note, thank you for joining in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video.